All right, fifth grade, we're now into the third math lesson for this week, week 14. We're still going to be working with subtracting, but now instead of just working with proper fractions, we're going to be subtracting mixed numbers. You might say, hey, we did that last week. We did. So the added challenge this week is we're going to be working with unlike denominators. Now, because this is the first time through it, we're not going to be regrouping, but we will have to simplify. Okay, let's jump into our first example. We're going to say 26.5 subtract 13 and 3 16. All right, let's take a look at our multiplication chart. Go ahead and pause the video and pull out your multiplication chart, and let's find a common denominator between 2 and 16. All right, you might be saying, hey, there's the 2 column, but there's no 16. It ends over here at 12, but that's fine, because we can ask ourselves, can 2 be changed into 16? It can, since 16 appears in the 2's column. That tells me I can take 2 times 8 to get me 16. Keep that in mind. Let's look back at our problem now. All right, so when I'm looking at 26.5 and 13 and 3/16, I need to rewrite it so that it has a common denominator. Now when I do that, I can actually, besides keeping the subtraction and the equal bar, I can keep the whole numbers the same. 26, 13. I'm not going to convert those at all. Because I'm changing halves into 16ths, I can actually leave 16ths here. 3. I know I need to convert that half into a 16, so I'm just going to go ahead and write 16. How do you change a 2 into a 16? We just said it, 2 times 8. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 1 times 8 gets me 8. Awesome. Now that I have common denominators, I can go ahead and work through these problems. Since I converted the denominator, I don't need to change it until I simplify, so I'm going to keep 16 as my denominator. I'll take 8, subtract 3. That gets me 5. All right. 26 subtract 13 gets you 13. And now I have 13 and 5/16. And I got to ask myself, 5 is a prime number, so can 5 fit inside of 16 equally? No, it cannot. So you're left with 13 and 5/16 already simplified. Let's take a look at another example. For our next example, let's take 88 and 12/16, subtract 22 and 1/4. All right, now, again, I'm going to ask myself, 16 and 4 need to be a common denominator. You already know 16 isn't on your multiplication chart, but can you change a 4 into a 16? Yes, you can. 4 times 4 equals 16. So let's go ahead and rewrite the problem. Remember, when I rewrite the problem, I keep the subtraction sign, keep the equal bar, keep the whole numbers, 88 and 22. Fraction bar, 12/16. And now I'm going to convert that 1/4 into 16ths as well. 4 times what equals 16? 4 times 4. That means I take 1 times 4. 1 times 4 gets you 4. Now that I've got a common denominator, I can go ahead and subtract. 16 stays my denominator. 12 take away 4 is 8. 88 take away 22 gets me 66. So I have 66 and 8/16. Can 8/16 be simplified? Well, keep 66 8/16 in mind and pull out your multiplication chart again. All right, let's go to my 8 column. There it is. Let's circle 8, circle 16. 8/16. Can it be simplified? You bet. It can be simplified a lot of ways. 8/16 can become 7/14, or 6/12, or 5/10, or 4/8, or 3/8, or 2/4, or 1/2. Which one is the simplest? 1/2 is the simplest. So simplified, 66 and 8/16 become 66 and 1/2. There we go. Put that into practice today on toucan fraction number 9.